Hey guys, welcome to Plant Lessons. Let's look into King and Queen Agave today together. So when it comes to agaves, they are kind of pretty popular succulents. People use them in the garden, and they're also, people keep them in the containers. So they're wonderful plants. So there are about like 300 different kind of agaves. But today we're gonna look into these two agaves. They are known as Queen Agave and King Agave. So we're looking at Queen Agave. Its Latin name is Agave Victoria Reginae. So this agave was named for Queen of England, Alexandria Victoria. It was named by a botanist, Thomas Moore. The reason for that is, like, if you look at the Queen's crown, so the agave looks like that. So that's where sort of the name given to this plant. Relatively small agave compared to some other big agaves. It only gets about like a foot wide. It could be grown in a container, in a temperate climate, so you have to bring it into the greenhouse. So if the plant is grown in a container, it will take it about like 8 to 10 years for it to get to the flowering size. So usually after flowering, the plant dies. I never seen it sending any little kind of baby plants or pups at the base of the plant. A lot of agaves do that, but not this one. So it has to be propagated by the seeds. So Agave Victoria has these really nice looking leaves. They are greenish, a little bit of blue, but mostly green, and their margins are smooth. So there's no little typical side thorns of agave leaves on this agave. It has a tiny little terminal spike at the end of the leaves, and the leaves are kind of there's beautiful these white markings on the leaves. Those are usually imprints from the last leaf. The way the plant kind of unfold as the plant is growing. When leaves comes off the sort of center, it leaves these beautiful markings on each leaf. So they're quite impressive. They're beautiful, is asymmetrical, round in shape. It's quite a handsome plant. These agaves are native to Chihuahuan Desert in Mexico. So that's kind of where they're mostly found, but they're widely used in the gardens all around the world. In warmer climates, they are planted in the ground, and temperate climates, people usually keep these in containers. They could be kept as a house plant if you have a really, really good sunlight. So there's different ways to sort of, enjoy these beautiful plants. I have seen them flowering in a container. They flowered for me, like in the greenhouse, and the flower spike was about like 7 foot tall. And if its plant is growing in the ground, I've seen them in California. There, the flowers can get about like 8 to 10 feet tall. So it's quite a scene when they're flowering. Now we are looking into this King Agave in the back. So as we can compare them, King Agave is a lot more blue than Queen Agave. So King Agave's its Latin name is Agave Ferdinandii Regis. This agave was found by discovered by Spanish in Mexico around in 17th century, I believe. So they named it for King Ferdinand. So that's how this agave got its name. It's another beautiful plant. It's not as compact as queen agave. So we see there's a little more spacing between the leaves of this agave. A lot of times they are mistaken for each other, but they are quite different. So there's a little more space, and these are also taller than other queen agave. So these are sort of you're looking at the it's like sort of terminal buds. They are much more pointier than queen agave, and it's a little bit longer. So it's dark black, where queen agave has like margins are more sort of silvery white. So this one is like, it turns into suddenly sort of like really dark tip. So if you look at the thorns, at the end of the plant, they look exactly like crown of King Fernandez. So another difference between king and queen agave is like king agave, it does send out some offsets. So that means like there's always little baby plants at the base of the plant. So that's how it sort of multiplies. The leaves are really stiff on both of these. So that's sort of and they were used for fiber. Their leaves are really fibrous. When you're sort of cutting back these brownish old leaves, you have to make sure that your shears or pruners, you have really good sharp blade. Back, just to improve the appearance of your plant. So that's kind of how you keep your plant neat. Sometimes these they are like plants that leaves that are partially turned brown. So I usually wait for them to turn all the way brown before I remove them. That's just personal preference. So as we see these leaves, they're really sort of fibrous. You do need the sharp pruners to cut these off. Then there is a yellowish form of these agaves, which looks like kind of a combination of both of these agaves. It is usually sold as a variegated form or yellow form of agave Victoria, queen agave. But in my observation, the way the plant looks, it's not as tight as queen agave, and it's not as open as king agave. Also, when we look at the terminal spike, so it's not as silvery as queen agave, and it's as dark as king agave. The size wise, for the size, it's kind of in between both of them. So I'm gonna let you decide. If you have any comments, just let me know what you think from your own experience. So it's a beautiful plant. Either way, it's king or queen, but it's a really nice looking plant. Well, thanks for watching this, guys. And if you have any comments, please, share your knowledge. And if you can subscribe to my channel, please subscribe and share this video with other plant lovers. So thanks for watching, and until we do another plant lesson, goodbye. Thanks.